Welcome to Escapades. My name's Jake. I'm going for a stalk tonight, but before we go out, I want to show you what I carry in my grab bag. So very simply, call it a fanny pack, call it a bum bag, whatever you want. These are really handy bits of kit. I don't like to carry a rucksack normally unless I'm going out on the hill and I need to take lunch and extra waterproofs, but one of these is absolutely ideal, and primarily because there's nothing on your front here. So if you deer stalk already, you'll be fully aware that sometimes you need to crawl, you need to stay low to the ground, so you're not catching equipment. Having things round the back and round the side is key, and you can actually reach for them very easily as well. I'll talk you through the pack. So the first thing I have here is a multi-tool. So on here we've got a serrated blade, we've got a standard knife, we've got a tick remover as well under the little cap here. Now that's really crucial, particularly if you've got a dog or you're regularly deer stalking, because you will pick up ticks. Bottle opener as well, very important, but just generally, you know, screwdriver bits, things like that, in case you do need to tighten anything up on your kit or on your rifle. So that out of the way, we'll go into the smaller pocket. Now this is worn on my left side, left being the weaker hand, so it's going to be something that I don't necessarily reach for quite as often, and this is my knife sharpener. This one is from Solinak, so it's the Decathlon brand, really good solid kit and really good price as well. On the top edge you've got your main sharpening edge, which you can drag the knife through, and on the bottom edge you've got the very fine bit that takes the burrs off, and it's really lightweight. You can get it wet, it's bomb proof, absolutely bomb proof, and it's actually reasonably priced as well. So it's really key to have a sharp knife. A blunt knife is a dangerous knife. You've got to put so much force on a blunt knife, then if it slips, you're going to cause yourself an injury. Every time you go out, you sharpen your knife and have a knife sharpener with you. If you're cutting through bone on a deer, or if you're cutting string or rope or anything else, it will dull off really quickly, so it's really key. Moving on to my next, probably the most important pocket in the whole of your pack. So in here we have at least one tourniquet and a first aid kit. So you can buy these first aid kits from any outdoor shop, but if you take my advice, I would put your own together. Pick and choose the bits that you want in here. Obviously you're going to need plasters. Tape is always a good one, even electrical tape in here. Make sure you know what's in there, make sure you know where it is and it's at hand, and tell me in the comments below what you've got in your kit as well. So the next pocket I'm going to go into is on the back of the pack. We'll start with a small pocket because there's two here. So these are generally really out of the way, so you can forget about them. So you can have things in here that you can't necessarily reach, or you only need at certain times. So the first thing I can put my hands on is a set of gloves. Now if it's winter, these will be thick gloves, but because we're in some decent weather now, I've got some nice light gloves. Now you can see the difference. Deer see movement and they can see lighter shades as well. So if I'm moving my hand slowly with this glove on, I'm far less likely to be seen than actually pointing and thrashing my very pale skin around the place. So gloves are really important. Secondly, particularly in Scotland, we've got some pest spray. So there's lots and lots out there on the market. This spray I was actually given when I was fishing by a guy, and he swears by it as well. But midges in Scotland, if you've ever stalked in Scotland, they are an absolute nightmare in the summer. They can ruin your whole trip. So always have some sort of repellent in your pack with you. So carrying on with the back pocket, very important. Even if you're only going out for an hour, quite often an hour will turn into 2 hours, 3 hours. You might be sat for a particular animal coming out a bit longer than you thought, or you might actually end up being out on a hill unexpectedly if you have an injury or you've got to go somewhere else to help someone else. So any snacks, any protein bars, something that's going to give you a little bit of boost of energy and help you keep warm as well. Really key to have in your pack and keep in there at all times. Moving on to the larger pocket. that's on the back of my pack. Now in here there's quite a lot of things, so I won't dilly-dally. I'll go straight to probably one of the most important things that you can have in your stalking kit. If you go out stalking, if you've got your rifle, your ammunition and a knife, you can manage. You can, all the rest of it is just personal preference, but these are the things that are absolutely essential. So this particular knife is one of my favorites, Mora knife, Scandinavian made, really good quality. You can get a really good edge on these. A sheath that you can get, you can put it in the dishwasher. It's really robust, it can take a bit of a beating, and it sharpens really easily as well. So never go anywhere hunting, fishing, shooting without one of these things. Next up, and in a bit of a state but they still work, antibacterial wipes. So when you're dealing with particular deer, if you're going to be shooting 2 or 3 deer, then what you don't want is anything transferred from one carcass to the next, or anything that's on your hands transferred to something else that you're going to be dealing with. Now don't forget that when we shoot deer, when they're dead, they become food, so you have to abide by some very high standards. So a pack of antibacterial wipes, you can give your knife a wipe off, you can clean your hands off with it, clean your equipment, and you're ready to deal with the next animal, or put your kit away and it's nice and clean for when you get it out next time. So next up, and again these are personal preference, but these are some of the things that I carry to help me deal with the deer once it's down on the deck. The first thing I've got is the chest saw. Now this one's from Bushware. It's a superb piece of kit, a nice serrated edge, so if you're dealing with a deer that's slightly bigger or older, then the bones tend to be more firm, so the knife can't get through them. So if you're looking at cutting through a chest cavity to be able to eviscerate everything and get the pluck out, one of these in your pack will really help with that, and it's actually safer than having to pull a knife and go through ribs and bone. Much safer to use and easily cleanable as well. In conjunction with the chest saw, the bone saw, we've got a chest spreader. So if you're dealing with a carcass, you're going to be cutting it open, and the whole cavity is going to want to close back in on you while your hands are inside. So again, once the breastbone has been cut, the sternum has been cut, you can pop this inside, you can wedge the cavity open, and then you can deal with whatever's inside. And these are foldable, lightweight, and very easily cleaned. So lastly, in the butchery kit, we've got some medical scissors. Now these have a stunted end on here, so there's no sharp edge on the bottom here. And the reason for that is because quite often when you're trying to cut the skin around the stomach, the knife may penetrate the actual gut, and if you do that, then the gut contents will come out, it'll spoil the meat, and that's basically the carcass in the bin, so it can no longer go into the food chain. But if you can make a nick or use these, or there are actual knives with blunt ends that you can use, but I prefer the medical scissors. They're much easier to handle. Then you can actually go along on top of the stomach, cutting up, and there's absolutely no chance that you're going to perforate the stomach and the contents leak out to spoil the meat. People do different types of stalking. I enjoy stalking lowland for roe deer, but I also enjoy stalking the highlands for red deer and sika as well. So we're quite often on the moor and on the hill. A lot of my friends carry a litre of water or 2 litres of water. I don't actually carry any. I carry one of these, a life straw. I'm sure other things are available, but this is basically a water filter. You end up taking the cap off, take this end off, you soak it in water, and when it's all soaked and drenched inside, you can suck a couple of mouthfuls through, spit that out, and then you can literally drink out of the smelliest, stinkiest bog that you can find. And these are absolutely worth the weight in gold. They're very light, they're washable, they'll last an awful long time, and you don't have to carry a litre and a half of extra weight up the hill. If you subscribe to my channel, there is a very high chance that you will see me using this as well. So hit that like and subscribe button. Moving on, so on my right side, so these are the things that I'll probably use pretty regularly because I'm right-handed, so I can get to them easily. So a bit of a homer. Homemade talc bottle. Now you'll probably be able to see here It's a screw with a big piece of tape around it, and it's a white bottle that I've tried to dumb down with black tape, so it's just not quite as obvious. But obviously you won't be able to see which way the wind's going here. The wind, wherever you are, kind of swirls around. It doesn't just always go in one direction, and it's really important to know which way it's swirling, because the wind will take my scent to that deer, and then my opportunity to shoot the deer will be gone. So what I'll generally do is I'll turn this upside down, I'll give it a bit of a squeeze, and I can see that it's going this way initially, but it's actually curling round behind where you are as well. So I wouldn't have known that without using this, so it's a real key piece of equipment. Every hunter stalker should have some sort of clean gloves, nitrile gloves, if that's your thing. Make sure you've got those, because once that deer is dead, it becomes food, and these are essential. The next pocket on my right side is a drag, a deer drag. Cushioned handles, 2 straps, and then loops at the end that I can tie around a deer's head, around a deer's feet, so I can extract that deer from wherever I shot it from. So basically, sometimes if it's a bigger deer, you can't carry it on your back or your shoulders, you have to drag it. There's no other way. And this is a really crucial bit of kit to be able to get deer off the hill. Nearing the end of my kit, you will have, if you're stalking, you'll have a magazine that contains a certain number of bullets. Now you should always know how many bullets is in your gun, because if you put the same in, so if you start stalk, if your magazine takes 5 bullets, put 5 bullets in, because if you come to shoot, you know exactly how many shots you have then. If you shoot 5, you always need to be able to top up your magazine in case you need to follow up a deer if it's injured, or you see another deer that you can shoot. So I've got an extra bullet pouch here that just keeps things nice and handy on my right side, so I can just load very quickly again. Whistles. Going with the first aid kit, completely essential. I'm going to have a head torch in here from stalking at night as well, but this is foolproof, bomb-proof. It won't clog, it won't break. It's a £3 life jacket whistle from Amazon, and it works. So I get into trouble, I blow this, and people hear me and come and rescue me. Great bit of kit. So finally, you might be really good at judging distance, and over time you get used to certain distances, but it can be a bit misleading. So if you've got the time, if you sat in a high seat for instance, and you've got the time just to check the range of certain aspects of the ground, so you know if a deer pops out at that tree over there, you've already checked with this rangefinder and that tree is 150 meters away, so you know how to adjust where your bullet goes. So these are a really good bit of kit. Not completely essential if you're just going to be shooting at short distances, but I do shoot a little bit further out, so I like to know that my bullet is going exactly where I want it to go, and the only way I can do that is by knowing the distance exactly. So this is my waist pack. I prefer this over a bag. It's from Decathlon, the Solanac hunting brand. They're French made, they are very, very good bits of kit, very handy. And if you can see the strange camo on here as well, this is the cellular molecular view of a mushroom cell, and they're pretty transparent, and the reason why that's a good thing is because you can lie in all kinds of different colours and textures and topographies with this, and it just seems to blend in. So whether it's a lighter colour or a darker colour, it's camouflage, and it's not standard camouflage, it's different. For me, this is my go-to pack. This is better. So this is my pack. This is my personal preference. You might prefer to take a bag, you might have one of these, or you might just travel light. So tell me what's in your pack. Every day's a school day. There might be something that you know and that you carry that I don't have, and if this has helped you, then that's great. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I will see you out on the hill.